Hi everyone, it's Victoria with Candles by Victoria, and today I want to talk to you about candle maintenance and wick maintenance. First, I'd like to start by saying that every candle has a memory. So when you get your candle home for the first time, you want to allow the candle, first of all, if the wick is longer than 1/4 of an inch, you want to trim that wick back. We trim the wicks to 1/4 of an inch before they leave the store, but over time, once they set up, sometimes they sink just a little bit, especially in the colder weather. The wax might sink and you might get a small concave area right there. So the wick's going to be a little bit longer than what it is when we trimmed it, and longer than we want it to be. So what you want to do is you want to take your scissors and trim that wick back to 1/4 of an inch. Okay, so it's pretty good and short. So the first time you light the candle, you're going to allow this candle, this is a 3-inch in diameter candle. So for every inch in diameter, you want to allow that candle to burn for 1 hour. So for example, this is 3 inches in diameter. So this candle needs to burn a minimum of 3 hours before you blow it out the first time. You want the melt pool, which is the wax that's melted. You want it to reach from side to side. Before you blow it out the first time. Then after that, with each initial burn after that, then you'll be able to burn it as long as you want. But the first time sets its memory, and you won't get that canyon effect, the stair step effect with the wax. Now, if for some reason you've lit your candle and the phone rings and you gotta run to the grocery store and get diapers for the neighbor or something, neighbor's baby. I mean, if something comes up and you have to blow out your candle before you leave, we use a really soft melt point wax. So this, if you happen to get the little bit of a stair step, just allow the candle to burn. It will, as it burns down, melt the wax off the side of the jar. So it's, it's not that big of a deal. But really, to get the best effect, you want to do that. Now, you don't want to allow this candle, this 3-inch in diameter candle, to burn any longer than 3 to 4 hours at a time before you blow it out, let it set up, trim the wick. And when you trim the wick, when you go to trim the wick, you're going to notice that there's a little ball at the end of your wick. That's a carbon deposit. And it's basically because these candles are so highly scented. The wick acts as a straw, and it draws the fragrance up through the wick. So that's why you get that little carbon thing on the end of your wick, which is no big deal. All it really tells you is that these candles have a lot of fragrance in them, a lot of oil in them. That's why they do that. So what you want to do is when let the candle burn for no more than 4 hours. For this size candle, no more than 4 hours. Then blow the candle out, allow it to set up, trim the wick, make sure that all the debris is out of the candle from the wick debris, so it's a clean thing, and then relight your candle. That's going to allow your candle to burn longer, last longer. You're just going to enjoy the candle better. It's not going to smoke. It's not going to, it's going to be a great burning candle for you. As you can see, there's nothing stuck to the sides of the jars. These are how all of our candles burn. They'll burn no waste on the side. They'll burn all the way down to the bottom with no waste whatsoever. You can see that is a completely clean jar on the side. Now, if your wick gets off center a little bit, don't panic. When when it's burned for a little bit and you have a little bit of a melt pool going on, just gently with a pair of scissors or a pair of tweezers or whatever, push the wick back to center. We use zinc core wicks, which zinc core wicks have a thin, tiny piece of metal that run through the center of them. The reason we use zinc core wicks is because when you pour the candle, you want the wick to have some stability to it. You're pouring hot wax in there, and if you use a wick that doesn't have anything running through the center of it to give it some stability, it's just going to flop over. It's also going to flop over while the candle's burning, while you have it and the candle's burning, if you don't have something in there to kind of give it some, some strength. So a zinc core is USDA approved, FDA approved. The little tiny bit of anything that comes off of these wicks is like less than what comes out of your toaster when you're making toast in the morning. So you are completely safe with zinc core wicks. I mean, I do get questions every now and then if we use lead wicks. Lead wicks are completely, you can't even buy lead wicks in the United States. I mean, in order to make a candle in the United States with a lead wick, you'll have to get that wick from China. All our wicks come from the United States, and all of our wicks are safe, and they're zinc core. So that's basically it. You want to keep the wick trimmed. Never allow the candle to burn more than 4 hours, this size candle at a time. Before you blow it out, trim the wick. That's really going to give the longest lasting burn to your candle. Make sure your wicks are trimmed when you first get them, so they're 1/4 of an inch or less. I mean, you can, if you light the candle and you see that it's smoking a little bit when you very first light it, allow the candle to burn for about 5 minutes and let it get into a burning pattern. And that'll stop. And then also make sure that your candle is not sitting in any kind of draft, whether it be a ceiling fan, an open window, a door, anything that's going to make that wick flicker will cause the wick to produce some smoke. So a steady wick is what you want, and so you want to keep that out of any kind of draft whatsoever. And of course, keep them out of children's reach and out of the reach of your pets. So thanks very much for listening, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave comments below. And please subscribe. I don't have many subscribers, so please rate and subscribe. Thanks so much, everybody. Bye-bye.